Alrighty, sweet. We are now recording. Hello, everyone. I'm doing a Skype call with Paul, who runs a YouTube channel. It is Paul, right?
Yeah, Paul.
All
Yeah.
right, sweet. I'm horrible with names sometimes. And your YouTube channel is called Happy Selling Life, right?
Yep.
Sweet.
That's it.
You could tell me a bit about what you do. That would be awesome. Good intro.
Sure. Yeah. So like Jack, we do drop shipping onto eBay from retailers, kind of like retail arbitrage. So if you know what Jack does, it's basically the basis of what we do, though we kind of do things differently.
Yeah, there's different flavors of drop shipping, but it's all
right.
drop shipping.
Yeah. We use Home Depot, and we don't bulk list. We optimize, like really carefully select our items and do it that way. But we've been doing it since January. We're now
almost a year
profiting. Yeah, so it's November now, so it's like 11 months. So we're profiting about over 10 grand a month. And
nice, that's really good.
Yeah, we're really excited about where things have gone. And yeah, we started the YouTube channel over the summer, and we're just trying to get more content out, tell people what we're doing, because this is like changing our life. We want to kind of share it with people.
Yeah.
So
you're doing YouTube work about it. In my opinion, like even if you're not earning any money and you're interested in drop shipping, you should also start a YouTube channel alongside of it, because like I've learned so many things just by doing things wrong, and then people are like, why are you doing that? You could just do this. And then it's amazing.
Really?
Like, yeah. And I've met people, and like I spent time with Mark, and I used to kind of wonder, oh, is it possible? You know? But now I've looked in the eyes of like 10 or 20 people who work from a laptop and just travel the world like all the time. Like, I know that it's impossible for me to think, oh, you can't do it, because I've met all those people now, you know?
Right. Yeah. At first, I had the same doubt. I'm like, does this work? Like, will this work? And now I'm at the point where I'm thinking to myself, I have to be picky about what does work. Like, there's so much I want to do.
Yeah, you can't do everything.
Online, I can't do everything.
Yeah.
I know this works. And it's not just drop shipping that works. You know, other things work, like people who do FBA, who do affiliates, make money on YouTube, all these different ways of making money. Courses, these things work. It's just getting the mindset to convince yourself that it does.
Yeah. Because if it doesn't work, that's because you didn't try enough things and you gave up. Like, you know, It's not, and it's funny too, because drop shipping is like, okay, there's a slight issue with PayPal jail, but really you don't need money to drop ship. Like, especially if you compare it to like traditional physical business. Like, you can't even start a physical business without a loan or without some kind of capital, you know? Like, I started drop shipping, and I don't, you know, I'm not the best example of this because I don't earn a whole lot and I don't have the best business practices, but I never had any money, and I'm able to, you know, do this for a living. And granted, I live in Nicaragua. I don't earn anywhere near $10,000 a month, but I'm also not really like, so tell me a bit about your, where did you originally hear about drop shipping?
It's kind of a long story, but the short story is that I found David Vu's Udemy course.
Yeah.
On dropshipping. Well, actually, I guess I can go back a little bit. So in 2015, I took this course called Dropship Lifestyle.
Okay.
Do you know this?
I recognize the name. I don't think I've actually.
Yeah, it's a course by Anton Kraly.
Okay.
You go to dropshiplifestyle.com, and that's drop shipping not from retailers, from manufacturers directly to a Shopify store that you make yourself.
Kind of traditional drop shipping.
Right. And I tried it and I failed. And I didn't. I took a break at that point, and I gotta try something else, something that costs less, because that was a lot of money up front that I lost.
Yeah.
The course alone was like $1,000, and I think it's more money now.
Oh, my small sidetrack. My mother and her boyfriend just spent $40,000 on an Amazon FBA course. And it's not just a course. It's also like, you know, you get inventory and you go fly out and there's plane tickets and you get a laptop. It's a bunch of stuff. But I was just like...
Your mom did?
Yeah, my mother and her boyfriend, yeah.
Wow. 40 grand.
Yeah, right? I was like, guys, you could have just come to Nicaragua and lived here for like 10 years like kings and figured everything out. Like, wow.
Wow.
But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't feel so bad about 1,000.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I didn't make a single penny on that. And then I was like, shoot, like I got to make that money back somehow.
Yeah.
So then I bought a $10 course, literally a $10 course on Udemy. And
David V's course?
Yeah, I have no idea what the ROI on that was, but it's been huge because I'm sort of making 10 grand a month now. So it's...
Yeah, that course is what inspired me to make my course, because David did he went to this thing called Nomad Summit, and he did a speech or a presentation about making Udemy courses. And I watched that, and it was like 30 minutes, and I just like, it brings me to tears watching it, because I have such a strong emotional connection to it. But Udemy's an interesting platform. It's definitely, I like it more as a student, just because you can get so much information for so cheap. You know, it is like, the courses are $200, but in reality, they're 10. You just wait a day, and there's another sale, you know?
Yeah, and some of them are free.
Yeah, a lot of them are free. So I get the impression that you did eBay stuff prior to dropshipping. Is that true, or?
No, I didn't.
No? Nice. So you started fresh eBay account at the beginning of this year.
I started a new eBay account, and then my listing limit was low.
Yeah.
So then I found an old one I had. I want to say it might have been like a 50 item limit instead of like a 10.
10, yeah.
So that helped a little bit, but
like
it really
one iteration further.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily with optimization, you don't really need a whole lot, because at the first like month or two, you got to like learn about things anyway, and just like a lot of people get locked up in the whole, like they think too much about what to post. Really, you just got to keep posting items.
Yeah, you got to experiment a lot in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's really hard in the beginning because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what's a good title. And even if you do have a good title, you might not know it because people aren't buying from you because you don't have any feedback.
Yeah.
So it's really tough in the beginning.
I've been doing some experimenting with different eBay accounts, and I don't think feedback's as important as people claim it is.
Oh, no?
No, because there's 3 eBay accounts right now. One is on eBay UK, and that has like 83 feedback. The other one is US, and that has, well, when I started, it had like 0 feedback. And so then I bought some penny auctions, got it to 3 feedback. And then that account, I've actually sold like 19 or 20 items on it, and it just started on that account like a week or 2 ago. And people are buying stuff even though it's only 3 feedback. And in the past, I used to think that like, people, like a significant amount of people wouldn't buy things because of the low feedback. And I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but I do think that it's one of those things that when you start off, you can usually post so few items that is really what's causing less sales, right? Not so much the feedback
less
number.
Exposure because there's less items.
Yeah, exactly. So
your new store, are you posting items that you have already sold in the old store that you know sell?
Yes, that's so I bulk posted since the beginning of this year, and I literally wasn't trying to earn money, and now I have a bad reputation because of that. The goal was, I was like, okay, I want to educate myself. I don't know if I'll earn money, but I'm going to try to. But really, I'm going to try and expose myself to all of the possible situations that can come up on eBay when you're selling stuff. And if I post a huge variety of items, then I'll learn what kind of items people buy, what kind of items produce problems, what kind of items are usually clean sales. And then I can identify, okay, these are items that were easier to sell, produced some money, and had very few problems. And now I've kind of applying everything that I learned, and my account's been restarted. So I have the account that is like a bulk account, but only at 10,000 items. And then that's just like, I've restarted bulk and I've applied everything I've learned. And then I have the optimized account, which has 1,000 items that were posted using Pricematik, and they're all optimized. And that list of 1,000 items was directly pulled from 1,000 items that I've sold on my old bulk account.
Gotcha.
So it's like sniping myself, kind of.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, and it's still like, I'm more focused on profit now, but the idea is, it really is like to learn. And one thing that I really am trying to understand more is the time frames of listings. I want to understand, like, like obviously when you're running a dropshipping store, you need to continuously post items. That's part of a successful dropshipping store. But what I want to understand is like, okay, if I post 1,000 items, I spend like a week doing that or whatever. How long does it take to start getting sales from that? And how long does it take for the sales to start tapering? And how long until I don't get any sales from those items anymore? And the trouble with reposting items is, yeah, it brings more business, definitely. But it also makes it harder to tell. Like, it's really easy to kind of say that you have 2,000 listings. And most of your sales are coming from like 30 or 40 of them. It's really hard to kind of tell what's causing what once you start posting items over and over again. Because how do you know, like, you know, unless you're actually tracking everything, then it's like, okay, is this something I posted a week ago or 5 months ago or yesterday? Like, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, all the metrics and the statistics and analytics, it's like, I wish I had more time or software that made it really easy to like track it and tell me like, you're wasting money by having these items, and you know, you could be making a lot more money if you were listing more of these items.
Yeah.
But like, I don't have time to do that or even to figure it out. And like, I keep like, sometimes I think to myself, like, I should really take the time to figure out like the analytics of my store, because it make a huge difference.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to spend that time listing instead.
Yeah. I mean, if you're earning like 10 grand, I mean, you're doing well. So
yeah.
That's like, a lot of people have trouble getting past like 1 or 2,000. It's pretty easy to drop ship and earn like $1,000 a month. But
yeah, I noticed that at first it was hard to get to 1,000, and then once I got to 1,000, it was even harder to get past that. But once I got past that, it just kept going up.
Yeah. And so how many listings do you have, out of curiosity? And do you have any virtual assistants?
So the thing is, we don't talk about how many listings we have exactly, because we just don't want to get copied in our store. And we like, it's really unfortunate because we want to share like as much information as we can.
Yeah, but there's poachers out there. No, I understand completely.
And if we tell people like, you know, these are our exact margins, and this is exactly how many reviews we have, or this is exactly how many products we have, then somebody might come across a store that's our store, see that number, and be like, this might be Paul's store.
Yeah.
And I know
it's not might, that literally will happen. Like,
yeah. Like, I know there's people who took David's course that did share some of that information, and like, I know what their stores are because everyone has talked about it.
Yeah.
And that's really unfortunate that that's happened.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the nature of my YouTube work. Everybody knows what my bulk store is.
Yeah, everyone knows yours.
Yeah.
But maybe that works in your favor, because if everyone knows it, then, you know,
I don't know.
Everyone can't copy it.
I think because I kind of made a decision early on that I'm going to focus more on making interesting videos about dropshipping and less about like, because if I really wanted to just be profitable, I would have just like done the optimization, scaled through virtual assistants, just done all of that. You know, that is a proven way to earn money. But I'm more interested in like doing new things and doing things that are fun and thrilling, and optimizing items is so boring. Like, oh my God, it's frustrating.
Yeah, I find it fun in a way.
In a way.
Yeah. It's like the one thing that we don't outsource is the listings, because it's fun, and also because we're really picky. Yeah. And we haven't found a good VA to do it. But
that's the titles is how you stand out. It's like, it is the way to make a difference, you know?
Yeah. But we have a whole team of VAs. We have 4 VAs that place orders, 3 that help with customer service, and I think that's it. I might be forgetting one. But it's about 7 or 8. Yeah.
Did you take? So how did you? At what point did you decide? All right, I want to start using virtual assistants, or did you from the beginning? Or can you give me some like time frames about that?
Yeah. So after we started making a few thousand a month, I started to notice that the orders were taking me a couple hours a day, and I wasn't having time to do other stuff. So I hired a VA to kind of help add the
you had too many orders to place.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's my criteria for everything with
Yeah.
VAs. When I'm so overwhelmed with a task that I
Yeah.
can't do anything else,
Yeah.
then I know it's time to have a VA help me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. That makes sense.
And one of the things that I've been very adamant about since the beginning is that I want a redundancy in the system.
Mm-hmm.
So for people placing orders, VAs placing orders is kind of a lot. I probably could get away with just 2.
Yeah.
But I have 2 due in the morning, 2 due it at night.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, if one of them is sick,
yeah, you got some backup.
Whatever, it's like a backup system.
Yeah.
So, because like other things like customer service, if 1 or 2 days goes without answering questions, or offers
stuff
don't
piles
get done
up really quick.
Yeah, but orders, if they pile up, it's nasty. So
yeah.
So how many orders do you get every day?
So it's a hard question to answer
so
now because I just changed so much. I'm surprised by the performance. There was a whole bunch of drama that went down. I won't get too much into that because it's in the past. But at the peak of the bulk stuff, I was getting like 30 orders a day. But I had these huge insertion fee bills. Like I paid eBay like a bit more than $60,000 this year in insertion fees. Like,
oh my!
Because I had just insertion fees because I had including actually final value fees as well.
Oh, second. Anyone listening who doesn't have an anchor store or eBay insertion fees are what, 10 cents a listing?
If you have an anchor store in the U.S., it's 5 cents per listing.
5 cents. Yeah, that's right. So that's 6. I'm not even going to do the math, but that's a lot.
Well, no, I was running at between 70,000 and 100,000 eBay listings.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was all like I just wanted to see what, like, if I just posted Walmart's inventory, what will I learn? And I learned a bunch, and so now I started these 2 new stores like 2 weeks ago, roughly.
Okay.
And like I mentioned earlier, the idea is, okay, with the Pricematik series, posting 1,000 items, I finished doing that, and we're just going to see, like, how long does it take for me to break even and pass the, like, store subscription and software subscription fees and all that kind of stuff. How long does the store operate profitably, and how long until it stops being profitable if I'm not posting new items. And then same thing with the bulk, except with the bulk I have 10,000 items. And the bulk so far, because it's an anchor store, the operating costs are higher. It cost me like about $400 a month. So my first $400 of sale income isn't profit. After $400, then it's profitable. The thing about bulk that I've always talked to people is like the amount of time spent with bulk is like fractions and fractions. Like when I was operating the bulk store with like 80,000 items, I was working like an hour a day, maybe an hour and a half, and it was just like it was able to, because of the kind of format I had for the business, it worked. And because you spend so much less time listing, like you can make an eBay store with 100,000 items in like 10 hours in the bulk format. If you just, it's just, it becomes not a factor anymore. Like you just kind of make the list, and then obviously if your list really old, a lot of it's going to be out of stock, but bulk is more kind of stable than optimization in that when you have regular sales, they're less prone to kind of those intense fluctuations that you can get sometimes. But you work around that with optimization by just getting a bunch more listings anyway. So it's generally the more listings you have, then the more stable your store will be. But right now there's like between 5 and 10 sales a day on the bulk account. The thing I'm really trying to get to happen are these multi-quantity sales, because my eBay account is like huge.
Explain what that is.
So the premise is that most people who drop ship, they have to deal with account limits. And because of that, there's this concept, I'm not sure if it's true or not, where people believe it's always better to have 2 items and 1 of each than it is to have 1 item but 2 quantity of that item. Most people will teach you that you should, if you can only post 10 items, it's better to post 10 different items than it is to post like 3 items and have each of them be a 3 quantity.
Yeah.
And so, because what I learned from the bulk posting with Walmart is that you can avoid most repricing and out of stock and customer issues and questions if you just post cheap items. And so all of the items for the bulk store cost less than $35. So I have to pay the $6 shipping fee for every single one of the items that I sell.
Okay.
And so because my account's so big, I can set
the $6 shipping fee from Walmart.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So it becomes part of my price. Like a $5 item is not a $5 item, it's an $11 item. Like I don't even think about it as $5 is just the item cost. To me, I see 5, it's 11. Like I just automatically add the 6, you know. And people are usually like, "Oh, why you're paying more for shipping than the item?" But like the buyer on eBay doesn't know that. They just see the amount it is, you know. And sometimes it's true, it's not worth it. Other times you'd be surprised. Like I've sold some $2 items for like $20, and it's just like, what the hell, crazy. But I got a little sidetracked there.
So wait, I gotta take a step back. So what you're saying is that if there's an item that's $10, with shipping it's 16.
Yeah.
So if somebody buys 2 of those, you make automatically $6 because you only have to ship 1 package.
Exactly. And if they get like 4 or enough to push it past the 3 shipping threshold, then you get $6 times the quantity ordered plus whatever the profit is. And so back when I was bulk posting, there were like 6 or 7 times where this happened, where I'd sell like a 10 quantity or a 15 quantity order, and it would be like a $250 sale and cost like $80 to fulfill. It was just like, it was crazy. Like if I could just get one of those to happen every day and then just do like, you know, like an hour, 30 minutes of work, that kind of thing. Then
so you're focusing now on under 35 items and not items that are more expensive?
Yeah, every single item in the bulk store is under 35. And that's also because there's just like, there's so many less issues. People aren't as picky because the items are cheaper. They're more likely to just forget about the returns and never do them. Walmart in general, like, it's something like 80-90% of their inventory is cheap items, like under $50. Like if you look in the search results, you can get a sense of the quantity of each kind of like $5 to $10 items, $10 to $15 items, just by looking at the search results and filtering them. And that's something I do a lot with bulk. And most of the time, say that there's 1 million items in a search result, the vast majority of those items cost under $40. And what I've also found is that Walmart keeps bigger stock of their cheaper items, so they're less likely to run out of stock, just because, you know, there's more of them. And I target items that are like packs of items that are more likely to have, like, you know, Walmart has like 300 of them in different warehouses instead of like a unique item that has 3 or 4. And also by having cheap items, you avoid a bunch of like Vero issues and like it's just a bunch of problems that I dealt with that this bulk store like has like 10,000 and it gets like 5-10 sales a day at the moment, but like I said, it's just like 1 or 2 weeks old or 2 weeks old at this point. But I get like 1 question a day, maybe.
Really?
Barely any, yeah. And that's because all of the items are specifically targeted to be items that don't really produce problems.
So do you find that besides the price, do you find that certain kinds of items sell better? Like maybe, I don't know, like home, like I sell a lot of tools.
Yeah, I actually sell from Home Depot, so that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, do you find that tools sell better, or like cleaning supplies,
I find that,
or toys, or?
So I focus on international sales. Overseas, things like detergent, baby products, and water, actually, surprisingly, sell really well. It's not so much categories, though. Honestly, what I focus on are items that. This is confusing because I talk about multi-quantity, but this is separate from that. I focus on items that are pack of or count. That means that there's like 4 of the item in one order, right? Or 24, like a 6-pack or an 8-pack or a 20-pack. What I've found is that when there are multiple units in an order, buyers are less able to properly determine the kind of value of the item. Like there's times that I've sold water, literally water, 24 bottles of water, cost maybe like $6 normally. You can sell them for like 20-30 bucks, and it's just like, what?
What are people thinking?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and it's just because my goal isn't to, like, I want to earn money, but I don't want to drop ship all the time. My goal is to create video games. And the big issue in the video game industry is everything is rushed because people need to meet deadlines and get products out to keep earning money and keep food on the table and all that. So I know that if I can get all my basics covered in a very small amount of time spent per day, like an hour, maybe 2 hours, then I can focus on development and make really, really great games and not have to worry about like, okay, I need to get this out in the next week so that I can eat, you know, because the dropshipping covers that. But the trick is doing it without having it take over your whole day, you know, because if I have to work 8 or 10 hours a day, then I get like stressed and I'm unable to see what the next best kind of move in my life is. So like I talk a lot about working less, but I'm not trying to say that it's not like I only work an hour or two a day. It just means that I try and have only an hour or two of work that I have to do every single day so that I can leave the rest of my time to what I feel is the best for my development and what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I think that's a really good perspective. And that's something that my husband and I always try to do too, is like say like, why are we doing this? Like, you know, I honestly just like doing this.
Yeah.
But I know I do get burnt out sometimes. I will get burnt out. And Chad's the one who always says like, well, we got to take a step back and remember like, why are we doing this? Like we want this to change our life somehow. And it seems like you have the same thing. You want to make video games, and we're not actually sure what we want, but we know that somehow we want this to change our life.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to figure out like we went away on a great vacation last week that like was paid for by eBay. Like, all the money we made, and that was like awesome. And
do you use a PayPal MasterCard by chance?
I use it for the business. Yeah.
Okay,
why?
Gotcha. No, I was just curious because that thing. I'm living in Nicaragua right now, and that thing is like my lifeblood. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, I just use it, and it's funny because the currency here is dollars, which is really convenient. But you can get like, it's just absurd how much cheaper the cost of living is here. Like I make like, through different sources, I make like $1,000 a month basically, and that's enough to like live well here. And
awesome.
I provide for someone else with food and all that. My rent for a 2-bedroom house is $200 a month.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's so cheap. And it enables me to, one of the reasons I came here, I mean, there was a lot of drama about the grind space stuff, but ultimately it was because when I was in the States, I had a day job, and I was a barista at Starbucks, and I had to, I was spending like 25, 30 hours a week at Starbucks, and that's not much, you know, some people work 40, 50 hours, and I used to work like 50, 60 hours. But still, I got to a point where I was like, my YouTube channel and my businesses, they're just, if I was able to just focus on all this all day, I know I'd be able to figure it out and it'd be fine. Yeah. But with all this other time, it was hard. And that's ultimately why I came to Nicaragua, is because it's cheaper here. So I can just focus on my business, and I was able to quit my job and just, you know, develop.
Yeah, I'm laughing because that's like the third time I've heard that today. Like the exact same thing you just said.
Yeah.
Like saying, I know if I could quit my job, I could figure this out and like do better. And like, that's like awesome. Like I'm so happy for you. We, like my husband and I, we have jobs. We work 40 hours a week.
And you do all that? Holy crap! Yeah. That's intense.
Yeah, we're really busy.
Wow.
And I think not the problem. Like I love my job that I do, and that's, I think that because we've already established ourselves and like have the job, like right now we don't want to leave. Like we're happy where we are, but we live in New York City and it's really expensive.
Yeah. And
so that's kind of like why I started, and I just kept doing it because I like it. And so here we are now with no life, no social life.
I'm sure that'll change, you know.
Yeah.
With time, if you want more of a social life, then you'll make the trade-off, you know.
Yeah. 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 So it's been a busy year, but it's been exciting. So.
Yeah, that's crazy that you have a full-time job as well. Wow. It's good that you like it, though. That's rare. Most people, they do not like their jobs.
Oh, you mean they're 9 to 5s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I understand why. I mean, some days, like I guess you call the grind of it, like going to work, coming home, that gets like tough sometimes, but
Yeah.
the job's a great job. I really like it. I like the people I work with. But I also like eBay. So just, for now, I'm just doing everything. It's,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I don't even matter. What do you mean? You haven't even been doing it for a year. I always think like, okay,
exactly.
if it's grown this much now, what's it going to be like when I've been doing this for 3 years or 4 years?
Right.
You know, it's like, wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you looking to do for next year? Like any big plans?
The biggest thing is, so I'm staying in Nicaragua until April, and then I'm moving back into the States. I spent my whole...
Why April? Why like a deadline like that?
Just because... kind of long story, but it's when I want to be back in the States. Like I spent my whole life traveling, and there's a lot of people that I'm really close to in the States that I didn't really have a place that felt like home until I lived in Reston, and that was when I was like 15. So I moved every couple years, Saudi Arabia, Africa, like all over the place, and so I definitely miss that. And there's also like I had a good life there with Starbucks, but I just wasn't earning enough to be able to just do my business interests full time, and I knew that I needed to get into game development soon. But sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I just wasn't like, now I have a course, I have affiliate income from YouTube, and it's all like drop shipping isn't passive unless you've trained virtual assistants, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the affiliate income's passive, the YouTube income is basically passive, because at this point, like, you know, the channel has enough momentum that even if I stopped doing videos, then eventually it would stop earning me money, but it's still going to grow for a while because you're getting more subscribers, more views, and all that kind of stuff. But the real goal of coming to Nicaragua was to publish a course, and so that has been accomplished. So now it's just a matter of like continuing to work on the course. And there's people who I know I could make a difference in their lives, the people who've kind of helped me and changed my life, and they're in the States. And I know that going back there, I'll at least be able... I don't know how to explain why I picked 6 months. But it was like time enough where like there are times where I want to go back now, but there are also times where I realize that this is the life I need to develop at my best and to kind of step out of my comfort zone. You know, I'm in a country where I don't speak the language that people speak. You know, there's a lot of like basic things that I really took for granted living in the States that here it's given me a newfound appreciation of things and an understanding of people, and it's just so much like kind of personal development. But I know that if I really want to cash out on that personal development, once I get used to all this, then I move back into the States. As long as I don't have to have a day job, then everything's going to be good as well.
Cool. So you move back to the States in April and keep doing what you're doing, but over there.
Yeah, pretty much. And so my focus is definitely less on dropshipping business and more on YouTube videos. Because like dropshipping isn't something that kind of satisfies the core of who I am as a person. It's just something that frees me, which makes it worth doing, because then I can do things that do satisfy me at my core. But YouTube does satisfy me. Like, I love knowing that if I were to die tomorrow, then there's videos that people could watch and learn from, even though I'm dead. And like that brings kind of meaning into my life. So my dad died when I was little, and I have all these thoughts about death, but it doesn't really matter. And it's just my focus is really on YouTube, and dropshipping just kind of gives me something to do videos about. And especially with the series I have now, I can try and earn money through dropshipping stores, but then I'm also going to get money in the future from the affiliate stuff with the software. And it's not like I'm like trying to sell the software to people. I'm just showing them that I'm using it, and if they want to sign up, then okay. If they don't, okay, you know, they can watch the video and not sign up. It doesn't matter. But I also like it when you have one kind of action or task, and then you can find kind of like, okay, if you were going to drop ship anyway, just pressing record before you do the work, then it enables you to kind of further monetize the the information and the time you're spending. And I really like kind of stacking that. So it's like, oh, you're placing orders anyway, but now you're placing orders, you're using Kabbage, you're using gift cards, and you're recording it, and you're getting affiliate stuff from all that, and it's just like, it's a good combination. But aside from moving back, the big thing next year is to do a series about virtual assistants, because right now everything that I'm doing is kind of temporary. I do want to run a like traditionally optimized, scaled business on my huge eBay account, because I know that I could make tons and tons and tons of money, especially if I have free time, because the eBay account is basically unlimited. And at this point, I have a lot of experience with items, and I know, like, I have a course, I run a YouTube channel, so I know that training a virtual assistant will come kind of naturally. I'll be able to do that, and also by doing a series about it, you know, it's just kind of the next logical step.
Yeah, it was the reverse for me, where we were making a lot of videos for our VAs, because it's just the easiest way to train them. Yeah. And then I like made, I don't remember what it was, but something I was making, I'm like, oh, this would make a good YouTube video. And then that's what I started doing. Yeah.
It's funny how often, like I think there's a recurring theme when people start YouTube channels where they just kind of started making videos for whatever reason. They weren't like, oh, I'm going to make this YouTube channel and I'm going to publish videos all the time. It just kind of starts just recording some videos and publishing them. And then suddenly you're like, oh, this is really beneficial, or I enjoy this, or whatever, and then it just, boom.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, we're looking to kind of expand our store, diversify a little more, and we're looking to use or try Walmart, which is why I was asking you so many questions about it, because I've tried pretty much everything in the past when I first started. Yeah. Like Amazon, Walmart, Lowe's, Bed Bath & Beyond, Kmart, Target. Like I tried everything. Yeah. And the only one that really worked for us was Home Depot. Yeah. But I think it's time to kind of diversify a little bit, because I think it's a smart idea to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, that's one thing people kind of always recommend. They're like, oh, you could get screwed if you just use one source. You should have multiple sources in case something happens. And, you know, it's better. It also keeps things interesting, you know, because you can't use the exact same strategies on every source. Like, you have to tweak things a little bit, and, you know, learning about that and incorporating it can be really enjoyable. Walmart's great just for, like, it's definitely more competitive than Home Depot. Home Depot is one of the less competitive, like, reliable dropshipping sources. Amazon and Walmart are definitely more competitive. That doesn't mean that you can't earn money on it, obviously, but the big appeal for me with Walmart is the 2-day shipping speed, and the free returns is huge, because it means you don't lose anything when you get a return. Yeah. You know, it's great.
Yeah. I was looking at Amazon and Walmart, and the reason, for the exact reasons you just stated, but I decided not to go with Amazon just because I know that the competition is like immense on eBay. So, and the reason another reason I was looking at both of them was just because from my limited shopping on both websites, well, I shop a lot on Amazon, but from my limited shopping on Walmart, it just seems to work. Yeah. Whereas Home Depot sometimes, just their website,
there's weird quirks.
Yeah, weird quirks. I mean, we know how to sort through all of them now, but it'd just be really nice to have something that just works.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some issues with Walmart sometimes, but in general, one of the reasons I use it as bulk posting is because of the kind of smoothness of it. Like, it's just very easy to, it's quick to fulfill orders. It takes me like 30 seconds an order, maybe like 20 if the internet's working really quickly. But I use some extensions to kind of copy everything for me and that kind of thing. Right. But the return policy is really good, and it's also like, when you have a return, you literally type in the order, or go into your email account, enter the buyer's name, find the order number, go to the URL address, walmart.com/order number, click return, email in your, or there is now an email with the return label, download that, upload to eBay. Like, it's all, you don't have to call anyone, you don't have to do anything, you can just like stack all of it. Yeah, it's really, really, really quick.
Oh, that's nice.
There's a couple other things like that. Walmart gift cards are also really easy to get. And there are ways, if you really want to, where you can get them for like 25% cheaper than their value. Whoa. Yeah, which is insane.
Let me ask you something about Walmart gift cards. Like, can those be uploaded to your account?
Kind of. It's not like other gift cards where you upload it and then it's kind of like it's on your account now and it's removed from the gift card. It's just kind of like it's on your account and you can use it, but anybody else could also add that gift card into their Walmart account and spend it if there's still balance on it. Okay. And I actually got hacked once where I had Walmart gift cards just in my account. And because all that someone needs to do is gain access to your account, and then they don't need any kind of security code or anything. If the gift card's there, they can just place an order with it. There's no like kind of double check once you've added it.
Good to know.
Yeah. So it's important that whenever you're using gift cards with Walmart, that you don't keep them uploaded into the cart. You want to make sure you always drain them and then add it as you're going to use it instead of adding it. Because Walmart is a big company, and it's kind of prone to some... I would say they don't necessarily have the most up-to-date like cyber security and that kind of thing. And so as a hacker, basically you just kind of gain access to people's accounts and just keep looking for ones that have gift cards in them and then just use them. And so that's what happened to me. I don't think that like somebody found my password or hacked me through YouTube. I think it was literally just like Walmart isn't the most up-to-date about things. They're a huge company. They're just getting into e-commerce. I'm pretty sure they haven't, got all their ducks in a row for things that they don't absolutely have to do yet, They're trying to compete with Amazon, but they don't have, like, they're a physical store, that just recently got into all the online stuff.
So when somebody returns an item, how do you get refunded if you have a gift card? If you paid for it with a gift card?
It gets refunded to the original gift card.
So you got to keep track of those gift cards.
Yeah, and that I at first didn't get into it because I thought that would take a while, but you literally just paste them into a database and then just Control F, last 4 digits. It's like easy.
Oh, so you'll get an email saying it went back on this card number?
Yes.
Or this... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I found one of your videos like a while back when I was starting, and you showed how you use Gmail. This is I'm going off topic, but you just reminded me of something. I wanted to like thank you for it. You use Gmail as kind of like a file system almost.
Yeah. That's how I handle everything.
Like the username and the buyer name, like all this information comes up. I can't tell you like how useful that is.
Yeah.
Instead of like making all these spreadsheets and everything, like you just search in Gmail and all the conversations come up.
Yeah.
It's all there. And I now have my VAs after they're done placing the orders, because it's everything. I send them the orders in a spreadsheet that I download from eBay. So then they copy everything in the spreadsheet with the order numbers and then paste it into an email and send it to me. So now when I search for the buyer's name,
that also comes up.
That'll also come up. So
the buyer's name search is like the most useful thing. So it shows you the really PayPal transaction. It shows you any order that was placed in the buyer's name, even if you sent them the wrong item, which is what I do sometimes to handle out of stocks. It still shows up. You know what I mean? So it's great. I love it.
Yeah. So that's like the ultimate hack, I think, for organization. Yeah. But anyway, back to what I was asking about Walmart. I don't know if I had any more questions about it, but the last question I had about it was, I know that on Walmart, kind of like Amazon, there's like a fulfilled by Walmart.
Like marketplace sellers.
And then like drop shippers or outside.
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
Okay, so Walmart has 2-day items. A small percentage of their inventory. Let's make up a number for reference, say 10% of their inventory. Most of their items are 3 to 5 day shipping. The 2-day items are always Walmart.com. They're not being drop shipped from somewhere else. Almost always. The 3 to 5 days items they're advertised as being sold by Walmart.com, but in reality they are being drop shipped from somewhere else. And then you have the marketplace sellers, which are obviously being drop shipped. This is like on Amazon when the Prime item runs out and you have all those other people selling items. Same thing with Walmart. I completely avoid them because it's just, for whatever reason, it always takes like 2 weeks, and there's bad return policies. It's almost always more expensive. Like, it's like if you're posting the item, the marketplace seller will probably be the price that you're posting the item for, right? They're just drop shippers that sell on Walmart.com.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow, that's good to know. I noticed that I use SKU Grid to reprice.
Yeah.
And I noticed that there's a setting there that will only, I could set it so that it only shows the item in stock if it's in stock on Walmart.com.
Yeah, I encourage you to use that.
Okay.
It's going to ignore the marketplace sellers. And you can also manually do that by when you're adding the link to SKU Grid or Hydra Lister, you add hashtag SKU opt : Walmart. And that will do what you just said. Just automatically, well, manually, but so what I do is I get a list of like 10,000 items, and then I just append that to the end of everything, so that even if like something happens with the setting, it just makes SKU Grid kind of run smoother. I don't really have that many issues with SKU Grid. People are always talking crap about SKU Grid, but I mean sometimes it marks items as out of stock when they're not, and sometimes I get repricing issues and out of stock sales, but in general I find that it greatly reduces the amount of them and allows me to change the pricing on all of my items at once, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't made a video about it, but I'm going to soon, because there have been a couple issues with it I've had, but overall for the value you're getting, it's much cheaper than other softwares.
Yeah.
And it 98% of the time it works.
Yeah.
As far as I've seen. Yeah. And then most of the problems I've seen aren't even their fault, because Home Depot has dynamic pricing, which means the price is different in different zip codes.
Oh, I did not know that. Really?
Yeah. Not every item.
Interesting. Yeah, but it at least can be. Interesting.
Yeah. And so, SKU Grid is only set up for one zip code.
Yeah.
And so if the price is different in another zip code, the zip code I'm shipping to,
yeah, there's no way to work around that.
Yeah,
like,
no way to work
you can't know what address your buyer is going to have.
Yeah. So I think it all works out in the end, because sometimes the item's more expensive, sometimes it's less expensive. So hopefully it all balances out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of the same with sales tax. Sometimes you go into a place where if you have exemption, then you're exempt. Other times you go somewhere that it's really expensive. That's another thing, actually, with Walmart is you can get sales tax exemption, and it's really easy to get.
Yeah, I applied, and just waiting to hear back.
Yeah, you applied like a day or two ago, I'm assuming?
Well, I applied, and I didn't do it right. I applied for New York.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did the first time, just one state, but you have to do all except certain ones.
They don't do a good job of explaining how to do that.
No, they don't.
Until you screw it up, and then they tell you
exactly how to do it.
We're not doing it right.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to take a long time, but it's easy. And I just spent like 2 hours yesterday finishing it up. So hopefully, like next week, we can start Walmart. See what happens.
Yeah, it's nice. It's definitely one of the main reason that I actually stopped using Home Depot when I first started was the shipping speeds. I got kind of frustrated that it just, sometimes you place an order and then 3 or 4 days pass, and then then the item ships, and it's just like, you guys could have shipped that like 2 days ago, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it is. Some items will ship out the same day.
Yeah.
Some they use outside vendors too. So
yeah, everyone does.
On the vendor. Yeah. So that's the nature of the beast when you're a drop shipper, I guess.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that really kind of prevents a lot of issues is if you have a faster shipping speed, because every additional day is just another day for the buyer to kind of get, like they just get kind of weird sometimes. I'm sure you've dealt with like odd buyers, and there's a bunch of crazy situations that come up on eBay.
Yeah, some customers are like the best.
Yeah.
Like they'll like ask like, where's my order that I ordered 2 months ago? And I'll look and be like,
oh,
you never ordered it for some reason. It's never been that bad. But
no, I mean, like you ordered it and a tracking number was uploaded, but then the item never actually shipped out, or all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, or we ordered it or we thought we ordered it. We wrote down an order number and we actually like skipped it for some reason.
Yeah, it happens.
And they just like, I'm like, I'm sorry, like I'm say something and they're like, "Oh, I don't care. Just send it to me whenever you get a chance."
Yeah, it's like, wow.
Like, okay.
Those
and
are
then
the special ones.
Yeah, and then I'll get the buyer who says, "I got my item. It's small, so I'm gonna give you a negative review." Meanwhile, it says in the description the size.
Yeah.
Like it's like what? Like,
what did you expect?
The negative reviews I get are always are never things that are my fault.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's the buyer who's just like crazy.
Yeah. I think some people have crappy lives and they like to just like, they have power for a second.
When the items that I mess up on or that we mess up on, they don't leave negative reviews for some reason. Like, knock on wood, like, I don't want to jinx myself, but that's just been my experience.
If you handle it properly, you can often get positive reviews from a situation. The thing that creates most negative reviews is a failure to communicate promptly. As long as you communicate quickly, most of your negative reviews, they're just not going to happen in the first place. But you can never prevent those people who are just like, they think you're trying to screw them over, which I've never really understood. Like, there are times where the wrong item gets sent or the right item gets sent, and for whatever reason, the buyer just thinks that I'm like trying to rob them and that I'm not going to refund them. And it's just like, no, just press the return button over. You're fine. Yeah. Just do it. Like, it's all good.
Or I get the buyer who says like, my item arrived damaged. I'm not going to pay to return this. And they get mad at me that they have to pay to return it when I never told them. Like, of course I'm not going to charge them to return broken item, but for some reason they assume that I'm going to charge them.
You're going to try and screw me over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can go on and on about bad customers, but I try to think of every customer as a good customer with a bad problem.
Yeah, that's a good mentality. And it's all about the communication. And like, if you can just get good at not giving them any of the crap that they're giving you, you always remain unemotional, you're encouraging, supportive, and you understand their problems. And I like, in almost all of my messages, I have a sentence where it's like, I take full responsibility for this mistake and apologize for wasting your time. And then it's surprising how often, like, I get a message from a buyer and it's irate, and then you just kind of be nice to them, and sometimes they're like, oh, all right, cool. Like, this just works out.
Yeah. Like, I've had customers who are very angry, and I respond similarly, like you have, like, take full responsibility. And then I get like this sheepish response saying, maybe I overreacted a little bit.
Yeah. And kill them with kindness.
Yeah. Well, this has been really helpful.
Sweet. It was awesome to chat with you, man. We should do more videos in the future. Yeah,
definitely. If you ever want to talk about anything again in the future, like I'd be interested to talk to you like January of next year to see how December worked out for you.
Yeah.
Have your sales seen any increase since Thanksgiving? It's Saturday the 25th, so it's like 2 days since Thanksgiving.
I literally just started like a week or two ago, so.
Right, yeah.
Like, I've had some great multi-quantity sales. I've learned that there is a market for kosher items. Somebody bought like 12 some rabbi somewhere bought 12 packs of kosher grape juice, same account, all shipped to different addresses, all in the same state. So it's like,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I was like, when I got the orders, I was like, oh crap, this has got to be out of stock. It's some drop shipper that has it out of stock, thinks that I have it, and is ordering all of them from me, and their orders have piled up. And I was like, oh, this is in stock. And all of these names say rabbi in them, like Rabbi John, Rabbi Elstwitz, and it was weird. It's funny.
That's cool. Kosher items, huh? Would have thought.
Yeah, and that's the thing I really like about bulk, because you don't have to think about things. You just kind of post them, and then you get shown patterns, and then you just kind of take what you learned from that, and then do some optimization with it. And
yeah, that's a good strategy. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll talk to you soon then. Thanks for all your help.
Yeah, man. Thank you. It was really cool chatting with you.
Yeah,
I'll post this video soon.
Yeah, I'll probably post it next week. So.
All right, man. Catch you later.
All right, have a good night. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Cool. That was awesome. All right, guys. See you later. Ciao.